I see the
Hello, 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 everyone.
Hello.
Sharon J. Lawrence here, back with 31 days of healthy relationship tips. And it is Saturday, December 14th, which coincides with this day 14, right?
There you go.
And I am joined by the amazing Miss Darcie Peterkin. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
What y'all don't know is me and Darcie go way back.
Yes.
Way back, like before
Yes.
licensure.
Yes.
And so she is an amazing clinician. I just adore her. I think she is super, super awesome and dope at the same time.
Thank you.
So, but I'm not going to toot her horn. I'm going to let her toot her horn. So, Darcie, tell the people who you are, where you're located, and what you're actually doing in the field right now.
Yes. Okay. So I am recently located in Virginia, Hampton Roads area. My husband is military, so we have been all over, most recently in Texas, before that Maryland.
Yes.
When I got to work with Sharon, the best, amazing. And I'm currently doing in-home intensive therapy and mental health skill building. So I see clients for 1 or 3 hours every day in their home, and we do the therapy work, but then we also do skill building. So it's everything from making those appointments and making sure we're getting to them, to budgeting and housing. They all have serious mental health diagnosis. Mm-hmm. So it's really just like a wraparound service. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, and you know that work very well. Yes. You've been doing this stuff for a while, but that sounds like a whole mobile treatment team in one person.
Yes, that is essentially what it is.
Wow.
Yes.
That's amazing. How long have you been in the field, Darcie?
Well, newly licensed, but been doing the, clinical counseling for 5 years almost now.
Yeah.
We worked together like 5 years ago.
So I think maybe actually 6.
Almost 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And I've done everything. I was doing addiction in Texas, and so wide experience.
And so everybody, I'm asking Darcie these questions because it's important that you hear some of her background, and then it's going to kind of match up with how she's able to tell you what you need to do walking into 2020, basically. And so tonight we're still on families. This is the closeout of families, everyone. And so, we've talked about relationships, mother-daughter relationships, maternal health. We talked about forgiveness. But one of the things that we did not talk about is the level of toxicity and how to prepare for like the holidays, but also how do you use those same skills as you walk into 2020? Because people, they only use skills for a very short amount of time. But I want us to kind of break down how people can also do things. Yeah. Okay, Darcie, so let's talk about, the things that we know that people experience, or some of the encounters that they have when they're dealing with toxic relationships. I know we've had clients or patients, we've had friendships, our own loved ones, or just witnessing, walking down the street, we may see some things. What are some things that people experience?
I think the biggest thing that when you think of toxic relationships, the first thing that comes to mind for me is someone that you have to see, or you end up spending time with, and you don't leave it feeling positive every single time. Every single time you're with that person, it is a defeating experience, or draining experience. And I think, to me, we see it in many different situations and scenarios. And And that is, to me, that's the benchmark. If every time you're encountering this person, it is draining you, you are leaving it feeling defeated, then that is toxic. It's not adding anything to you. It's not benefiting at all. So
draining.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that, I think that's a big one for people. And I think the scary part about all of that is when people, they go through those things, but they end up staying there way longer than they should be, out of fear, that the relationship is gonna fall apart.
Right.
When in reality, it's already kind of broken.
Right.
And imbalance. Yeah. And so let's talk a little bit about, it doesn't have to be mother-daughter relationships. It can be cousins. Like dynamics of families who maybe they don't see each other all the time, but when they come around, there seems to be this big brouhaha that ends up ensuing. Talk about that kind of stuff so that people can understand like what to look for when they're walking into the holidays or any family gathering.
I think the biggest thing is the gut. I mean, your gut knows. You walk into a situation, you're anxious, you're like tight, you don't feel like yourself. It's not easy. That to me says that you know, your body knows something here isn't right for you. This isn't going to be good. I think, we always joke about, oh, that uncle so-and-so or whatever, he's always got something to say. Well, let's really look at that relationship. What is he really saying? And is it really funny? Like, yeah, it's a joke. Should we be joking about that? Right. Is he, saying all these mean things and we just brush it off because it's uncle whatever. But that can be toxic. People, I think, try to make light. It's family. We do it once a year. Try to make an excuse, but like really look at it and let's identify it so you know how to handle it. Right. Or what you're going to do.
And I guess it could be either they're saying something as a jab towards someone else, or it could be a sign that they have encountered something negative, and these are the results of what they negatively experienced. Yeah. So it's like Uncle so-and-so may be hurting.
Right. Exactly. Right. Has anyone actually checked on it?
Right. Are you okay? Right. You've been saying some really mean things. What's going on?
Right.
But people don't often, we know they don't think from that perspective. Right. They jump right to, oh, such a problem.
Right.
And so I guess that's one way to look at it, is to say, okay, I wonder what else that person might be going through. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. So let's talk about something you mentioned. I wanted to kind of go back to thinking about when people are walking into family gatherings, knowing their triggers. You made me think about a person I worked with at one point, and they said that they remember pulling up to an event, a family event. It was it was a friend's event, and something in their gut said, "Don't go."
Yeah.
And she didn't listen to herself. And as a result, she said when she walked into the event, everything in her just started to just unravel.
Yeah.
And one person said something to her, and she said before she knew it, she actually had blacked out.
Wow.
And basically just verbally over someone because she was so upset because that person had been a trigger for her. And so when you said the gut thing, I'm like, yeah, that gut is something. I have one of those. Like,
yeah. Right.
Physically and internally, right? Yeah. And so, listen to
your gut. It is the biggest thing. It is. There's just so many times I just can't stress it enough. I think there are times, personally, even times where I don't listen to it, and then I should have listened to it. I don't even second guess it most of the time anymore. Most of the time. But instinctually. And so our brains can try to tell us, it's a Christmas party, family, we have to go. But your gut is saying something's up. Someone's going to be there.
But what if somebody says, oh, stop being paranoid?
Well, you have to make that decision. And that's, I think the biggest thing is knowing you have to set your own boundaries and you have to make your own boundaries. And you have to make that decision if you're okay with it or not. And if you decide that you want to go to the party, you need to have, some rules for yourself.
Right.
You need to make sure you have a support, someone you can call, or a way you can exit, someone at the party who is a safe space for you, whatever that is. But having a support somewhere, friend on speed dial, text someone as you're walking in, whatever it is. But I think that, and then also knowing when it's time to leave, for yourself, saying, oh, okay, you're right, I'll give it 5 minutes.
Right.
But if you're stuck, if that gut is still, and you walk in and it's worse, all right, that's it, But I think if you make the decision to go, because whatever, I think you need to have, your rules for yourself, whatever it is.
Right. Thank you for talking about that safe space or that safe person. A lot of people who go through a lot of trauma end up working on that in treatment, where they learn how to develop safe spaces or safe places in their mind that they can kind of retreat to. And so can you talk about what that process looks like, helping someone to have a safe place in their mind?
So when I'm working with someone and we're talking about that, it's trying to, the way I do it, pinpoint instead of triggering positive, what is calming to you?
Yeah.
Is it a sound? Is it a feeling, like a physical texture? Is it something soft? Can you keep something soft in your pocket and touch it and pet it, and that makes you feel calm? Is it a physical reaction? Is it relief in your hands? Is it a memory? Is it, but just before you go in, trying to think of that, to know what that is for you. And maybe you think of it before you go in, so you go in calmly. But then when you feel yourself start to get anxious, reverting back, trying to think back to that.
Right. Okay. So y'all got that? So these are things that you guys can do on your own. Like, it doesn't have to necessarily be someone else saying, hey, okay, calm down. Let's go. Let's do this. It can actually be you sitting at a table in the middle of chaos and being in your own world, singing a song, picturing yourself somewhere. Or like Darcie said, have a squeegee ball or something in your purse or your bag or your book bag, whatever, or your pocket that you can actually touch. Something that's going to help calm you down and gives you some level of peace. That's important. That's good, Darcie. This is good. Yes. You guys, I'm trying to tell you, this is a 30-minute segment. And so give or take a few minutes, but these are free tips that are here just for you. And when I got this vision that came to mind, and everybody knows I kind of fought it because I was like, okay, I feel like God wants me to do this. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to. And, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. It's like I'm doing that whole, but in the end, I realize it's necessary to help people because everyone has a unique story. Everyone has their own experience. And so my goal is that by having Darcie and all these speakers share with you, that you get a chance to take one thing or maybe more away, something that will help you. So, Darcie, we're about a little more than halfway done. So, okay, so I want to go into, let's talk about just relationships in general. When it comes to families, what are some ways to help families truly establish and maintain healthy relationships?
I think the biggest thing is communication. The way we communicate, the way we speak to each other, our nonverbal communication, I think that is key. That's where it all lays, because if you don't have positive communication, what else can you have? And learning the way you communicate may not be the way someone else communicates. You may have grown up in the same house. It may not be the same thing. And so when you kind of peel back the layers, you know, take that time to, are we on the same page? Like, you know, and taking that moment with each other. I just think it comes back to communication. Really.
I'm actually trying to put some of these things down because we need to make sure that the people get this information, right? And so I want to be able to share it in the feed and everything. But, you know, so communication is key. Pay attention to those nonverbals. They're powerful if you know, in a good way or a bad way. They have the potential to create impact. Everyone communicates differently. That's what I heard you say. And then take a moment with each other. I like that. That's like saying, okay, let's check in, let's connect.
Exactly.
Yeah. And is this something that can be done with all family members, or is this more for husband, wives, mother, daughters, father, sons?
I mean, it can be done on various levels with everyone. I mean, people to people, checking in on each other is so important. And when family, I just feel like it really shows that you care and you want to be okay. You want to know that they're there, they're listening, that you're being heard, that you're hearing them. I mean, I just think it's, you know, when you check in, you're just saying, hey, I want to make sure we're good. And I just think that's what we all need.
Yeah. Not what's wrong with you.
Right.
Or why are you doing this? Hey, I want to check in. I want to make sure we're good. I like that.
Exactly.
It pulls the we in together. How do we get back together?
Exactly.
I love that. I hope you guys are getting this. I don't know why as you're talking, Darcie, I'm hearing, like, I just keep hearing within myself, remove pride.
Yes, that's huge.
Remove pride. Be humble.
Yes.
Don't take it as, oh, well, if I do that, that means I'm weak or I'm wrong. In healthy relationships, there really should not be a right or a wrong. It really should be, okay, how can we fix it? Whatever it is, how can we fix it? In other words,
and that's key. It's we. It's got to be we.
Yep.
Yeah.
So everyone has a level of responsibility. And so how do you commit to doing your part? Okay. This is good. This is good. This is good, y'all. Okay, so we're almost at the end. Let's talk about modeling for one another. Is that a challenge for people when there's toxicity going on, you know, and knowing that one person is trying their best and the other person may not be?
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. I think when it's a relationship, when it's a toxic relationship and someone is trying, you get tired and give up. And then you're not modeling anything anymore. You're defeated. You're not showing the good behavior. You're not showing the way you want to be treated or showing, you know, you're defeated. Yeah. And then no one's really trying anymore. Right? So absolutely, it's hard. I think it's important to, like I said, try and go in positive with the trying to communicate positively. Modeling, show them how to communicate with you. Use the we words, use the you know, show them respect. And then, like I said, know your boundaries. You know, if you try and you start to feel tired, you're not getting anywhere, then maybe it's time to walk away. Not from the relationship, but from the conversation, from the moment, before it becomes walking away from the relationship. Right. You know, take a breather, take a breath, know what your boundaries are.
I'm laughing because some of this stuff, I know people are saying it has the same theme throughout the week, but there are some variations to it. As you share, everybody drops another nugget, you know.
Yes.
And you even said, maybe it's time to walk away. You said, not the relationship, but the situation. You know, those are those timeouts that are important.
Yes.
And so basically telling them, don't be so quick to run.
Exactly. Because then that even can make things worse.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm done. Can't deal with you anymore. I can't talk. That's not helpful to anyone. But saying like, I'm going to go get a water right now.
Right.
Just excuse yourself, and take that time, because when you're in that moment, in that feeling, it's not the time to make those big decisions.
Correct. That's major. I agree with that. I agree. I think it is good to step away and give it some clear thought, because if the toxic nature is really where we're thinking it is, if it's that bad, then you need to have an extra strategy anyway.
Right. Yes.
But you definitely don't want one toxic moment to be the end of a good relationship. So how do you work through that? But if it's truly toxic in nature and that there is no change and that person is unwilling to make changes, then you need to.
Right. But saying I'm done in the middle of a conversation is probably not the best way to do it.
Yeah. We're not getting anywhere right now. We're probably not going to agree, right?
Yeah. So,
can we come back to this tomorrow, at 9 a.m. or 10:30? So this is good information. Darcie, thank you so much for joining me. I just want you to share with them if there's any last minute things that you feel like is on your heart that you need people to know.
I think for me, the big takeaways I really hope everyone gets are boundaries. Set them for yourself. Know what you will accept, what you will allow, and what you can't. That is so important. And communication. Just, we all can work on our communication. And I feel like if we take that time and do that work, so many things can be changed. And maybe toxic relationships can't be, but know that you gave it a shot, but know your boundaries and know what you can and cannot accept and allow from people. I think those are really my biggest one. And listen to your gut, people.
That's
Trust
right.
Trust your gut.
That's right. Trust your gut. But I like that part you said, know that you gave it a shot. And I think that's very important, because some people end up walking away and they feel like they were the reason for the failure because they chose to protect their peace and their heart. And the reality is that you actually probably saved yourself from something that was probably going to get worse. So know that you gave it your best and that you gave it a shot. So don't be so hard on yourself.
Exactly.
When you do what's right for you.
Self-preservation is so important. If you're not looking out for yourself, then who is?
Absolutely. This was awesome, guys. Y'all don't know. Y'all got this free stuff, and we still have 17 more days to go.
Woohoo!
We are doing this. I'm still in shock. But Darcie, thank you so much for joining me. And can you just tell the people how do they find you or connect with you if they want to follow you on social media, or just to kind of see what you're up to?
Yeah, I am on social media. I am on Facebook. I am on